The body is subject to death. April 7th, 1994, Thursday. After communion at about 12:30 a.m., while saying the rosary, during Jesus Carries the Cross, thinking about all Jesus suffered, I said, "Oh, Father, it's like you killed your Holy Son by allowing human beings to crucify him. Nothing happens without your allowing it." The Father: "Littlest one, how mistaken you are again. My Son, being divine, did not die in his divinity part, for God is eternal. His human body and nature died, and it was indeed glorified into newness of life with the unity of his soul. Just like you and all human beings, your body and human nature is subject to death, for death is indeed the wages of sin, and nothing sinful can enter into heaven's eternity. The part of your being that is not subjected to death is your eternal soul, which at the time of your physical body's time to pay for the wages of sin comes, your soul departs from the corruptible, the body, and continues to live in the realm of the eternal, purgatory, heaven, or hell. Remember, unless a soul falls, it cannot enter newness of life. Until the body falls into the sleep of death, it cannot rise to glorified body at the time of its unity to the soul again. Would you want to stay in the limited body you have now, littlest one? Would you want to experience all its pains, aches, and temptations to all the sins of mankind so prevalent on earth? Earthly existence serves its purpose that it was meant to do, a place of learning and becoming the beautiful creation I desired my human children to become. Not just creatures, but my children, for I desired this relationship with mankind, or I would have never created them with the soul, the essence of the eternal, the part of myself I extended into my creation of man, my masterpiece of all the beauty I formed. You sometimes look at the negative side of a person instead of seeing the beauty and the perfections I have inspired in man's being. You see this in the lives of my saintly children when you read of the ones who have been raised high to the altars of my Son's church, my church, for in reality they responded to the molding and the degree of sanctity I desired for them. You can see the work of my hands in the lives of some of my children living today. Look at my son John Paul and Mother Teresa, and look at some of the priests you have met. Remember always, everyone is in different degrees of unity and sanctity according to my desires and their responses. Always their fiat must be fully given, not just once in a while or when one feels like it, but always. This is the hard part. Always. It is not, nor has it ever been, easy to become what God has desired for each person, for the gift of free will is always there and the ability to choose must be. Even at the time of one's death, the decision must still remain. Rebel to the end, or yield to the inevitable, or surrender willing to the will of God, for it is indeed the way it has to be, for I have said so, and my Son came to earth to save mankind and show the way home. For earth is not one's permanent home, just part of the process of changing and becoming my loving children. Littlest one, don't you think God has a right to do as he pleases with his creation, especially his masterpiece, mankind? It's a pity so few want to realize that their lives have a beginning on earth and indeed an ending to the duration of earthly existence. So many are so ruled by the world, the flesh, and of course Satan, who's always about inspiring one into the realm of destruction. Mankind is so puffed up with their own selfish motives that they act haughty and proud when one tries to tell them otherwise. Look at their faces and expressions, littlest one. It's like, how dare you, yes you, tell me what to do or what's right or wrong? That's just like Lucifer acted. He knew better than even God, than even me, for he was and is so full of pride and self-righteousness, the kind that's of his own opinion and is the righteousness of hell. Be not cast down, littlest one. There are souls who, after trying their way, have found it was not all they expected, and yield finally to the call of grace, which indeed calls souls to respond to the truth of God and yield to the love that only God can give, for God is love. And only those in God and with God can truly know, understand, and live this real love, for all else is just a false, selfish, self-motivated desire of the fallen nature of mankind trying to fulfill the emptiness of their existence. It is indeed sad to see so many choosing the wrong paths today. But remember, littlest one, God is not, I am not fooled. I know all, see all, and I still have the situation in hand, and the purpose of my creation is still intact, and will continue with the ability of all who will indeed, come to the fullness that I created for them, and to live eternally with me, their heavenly Father, who indeed loves to the fullest, to the extent I gave my only begotten for the redemption and salvation of all. All one has to do is say yes, yes, fiat, fiat, to all I have here in my hands, so ready to respond to the first yes and the next, and next, and next. Pray much, my littlest one, for there is indeed much to do, and each part of my son's mystical body has its much to do. 1:50 a.m. Still have last decade of sorrowful mysteries to do. On way into other room. Drink heartily of the bitter cup, my child, and you will indeed find it sweet. Oh, Father, please, please help me to do it.